So pottery has some potentialities, though it has some constraints in the present situation actually, because the popular substitute like plastic goods, metallic or ceramic wares, they are being popular than the pottery items actually. And also, as the pottery units are smaller and their jurisdiction market is smaller, it is hard for them to reach to the larger market to cater their poverty alleviation. So my argument is scaling up of production of and marketing of pottery goods has potential to reach larger market with greater demand. Sorry. This is my research question. If you, this is my base question of this research actually. What I try to understand. If you see, there is some key points like resource base, uh, traditional cottage-based production unit (TCPU). That is one unit I am going to emphasize on. And another unit is micro enterprise for pottery production (ABPP), and also their constraint in producing pottery goods and all their potentialities, further potentialities that I will want to understand from this presentation and in this paper. I have used qualitative research method for developing this paper, and sustainable livelihood was my theoretical base. To make it a frame, I used sustainable livelihood framework to study the whole context. And further, I do a SWOT analysis to contextualize their strengths and weaknesses. And in the study design, I selected study areas and sampling as well. Sampling, in the prominent part, the sampling I use purposive sampling. Data collection is done mainly through guided interview and also from observation, key informant interview, and group discussion. This is my study area. There is three study area actually. Kagujipara, Kamarbari, and Palpar. Kagujipara from Dhamrai, Kamarbari from Sapar, and Palpar from Mirchapur. I will not go in detail of this table. If you are interested, I will come back in the question and answer section. This is the study area map. This is in Dhamrai. These are the markets of the pottery goods that they cater from their production units. This is Mirjapur, Alpha Village. This is one of my target area, study area, and their jurisdiction of market is this. This is a very small area that they cover. As I said earlier, I use logical framework, sustainable livelihood framework as my theory of change. You can see this is the standard sustainable livelihood framework. I use TCPU and NEPP in this. I put NEPP and TCPU in this framework. I try to understand their natural base, the livelihood assets, understand what the livelihood asset they have, and after that I assess the difference between them. After that, I tried to understand the government policies, laws, and development policies regarding these two groups, and identify the difference. And finally, uh, I assessed how the pottery in these two groups, in TCPU and MEPP, emerge as a livelihood strategy or portfolio. This is the three target area, the study area that I have. If you see, this is the Palpara village. The surrounding is green, and there is much, and also there is a close proximity. There is a small canal, so the water and the clay, the main two resources, natural resources that is needed for the pottery, is very easily achievable from here, Palpara village. On the other hand, in Kamarpara, it is moderately developed area, so it has the green fields, so they can collect the clay from there, but they have to travel more distance. And Kagujipara is more built up, so they actually have to purchase the clay from other brokers. If I consider the social capital of TCPU, they actually don't have that much forward linkage. Yeah, they don't have that much backward and forward linkage. They just all the things, production, marketing, collection of raw material, production and marketing, all are done by themselves. But in MEPP, they have backward linkage with the broker to collect the raw materials, and forward linkage with the wholesaler to sell the product in the market. This is financial capital. You can see per capita expenditure in TCPU and MEPP, and this is the BCR, benefit cost ratio, for these two. Actually, MEPP has less benefit cost ratio than the TCPU. After all those things, I have put those criteria in the SWOT analysis framework. From here, we understand what the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat of each group is. I just present here the TCPU here. If you can see, the strength is the availability of skilled worker with the present unemployment and underemployment rate. They have unemployment and underemployment rate in their communities. Comparatively good benefit cost ratio. They have good benefit cost ratio, as I show you. Good accessibility to the raw materials, have been absorbing a major part of labor. This kind of strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats I listed down and made a strategic framework for their further development. Considering the strength, opportunity, and the strength in SWOT analysis, strategies for the TCPU can be utilize the maximum skilled worker to increase production by taking benefits of the favorable policy of government and MSME. Yeah. And in the opportunity weakness strategy, as we see in the SWOT structure, improve the investment options utilizing favorable government policies and cash flow through NGO. It is one option. Actually, I can't go to all the points here. for the time constraints. Yeah. So what I understand is both of these production units has potential to grow up and scale up further, but it needs uh, input from the government side and uh, organized activity from their side actually. Thank you.
Thank you, very interesting and very good presentation. But when we started the presentation, we had some problem. The later part is quite clear, which means your ability to learn. However, if participants or audience have any questions, I feel tempted to ask you one question. It's basically related to the methodology because you show the BC ratio. How did you calculate? Is it financial BC ratio or economic or social?
I have calculated the financial BCA. I haven't have that much resource to conduct it in economic BCA. Though I can use some basic conversion rates, but I think that was very basic actually. That is why I don't input it here.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes, sir.
Because the value chain, you need to uh, conceive it in a very better way by using some flow. These are the inputs, this is the process, how it is going. And if possible, if you can use the monetary value instead.
Yeah.
I think that will improve your suggestion.
Actually, this is the gist of one MPhil paper of mine. That is why. Actually, I have those digits in my paper, but I couldn't present it here because of the time constraints, I think.
Uh, Thank you for the kind of very informative presentation. I'm Manik Murashak. I'm working in Drag Urban Development Program. I had a kind of similar study back in 2009, I guess, in Tabujipara. We worked kind of looked through the kind of different perceptions of the people and how they manage the financing, how they produce the product, and how they sell it to the final market. But one of the constraints for the people to export it or to get the affordable price, I guess, is the financial mechanism because at the initial stage, you need a lot of money to buy the raw materials. And the people of the quarter, they don't have that money. As a result, they take the money from the local Mahajan. That is still existence. I'm not sure what's the situation right now. But even when they're taking money from them, they are bound to sell through them. As a result, they don't get a fair price. That even if you are going to export to Europe, have you ever considered this kind of social dynamics into the marketing mechanism of this product actually?
Thank you. Good question, actually. Very interesting one. I have included actually. If you see the per capita expenditure in MVP, it is much higher than the ECP. That is first. Second is what my experiences in my thesis. I put it. What you say is right. They have to go through a double process. I can show you. I have developed a cycle of double, vicious cycle of double. How they deprive of their profit for the double. But there is another thing you have to consider actually because the financial arrangement, it is also important for the porters in the when they purchase the raw materials, big amount of investment they need, and for a very short time, within a very short time, that those loans they cannot get from the government sources, also not from the NGO sources. So they have to take those initiatives. What they do is they for the in the with the brokers they buy the raw materials in loan, and after processing the goods they collect they not after processing, before processing or making the goods, they take some money from the wholesalers. That money is catering their raw material collection and financial demands. That is not existing now. If government or other NGOs or other financial institutions go to them and provide them those monies, they will not proceed with that actually. What I found in my thesis. Thank you.
I think it's difficult to come out of this vicious circle because they don't have enough capital. But I know DC is supposed to help these people. Small and cottage industries corporation, we have this. Well, are they not working there?
Actually, I have made more than 38 quarters and collected information. Two of them has training from them. None of them has any kind of loan from them. And what they say, when they go to the bank, pottery is not a priority for them. They give other small cottage industries like woven or basket making or those kind of things. But pottery is not priority for them. That is what.
Thank you. We have the second question. Thank you. We give an applause to this author and this very interesting. Next presentation is paper IP 507, Urban Poverty Education with Nutritional Food for Diversity, Bangladesh, by Dr. Muhammad Akhtar Zaman, head of Bangladesh Office, Yulia Limited, Ekpur, Dhaka. So, Mr. Akhtar Zaman. Please make the presentation and try to end it up within 15 minutes. So we can discuss.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Muhammad Akhtar Zaman. I'm working in Regular Corporation Limited. It is one Japanese company. I'm working in Dhaka, and we are providing school building program in Dhaka. Thank you very much. So my presentation is starting with the urban poverty relation with nutritional food for Dhaka City, Bangladesh. Basically, I am explaining two issues, two big issues. One is what's the background of urban poverty. So I'm going to describe detail for this one, and another one is what is the beneficiary for feeding program for urban poor. Thank you very much. I'm going to start it. So I want to decide right now. I'm going to spend some very informative issues that in Dhaka city, more than the data is a little bit old, and now more than now I think more than 5,000 slum cluster in Dhaka city, and population is 3.4 million. And the region of urban poverty is the main issue for the rural urban migration. So in my paper, you mentioned it that for every year, according to the WFP, World Bank data, every year 0.3 to 0.4 million people are coming in Dhaka in every year. So this is the most important and most essential issue for the for urban poverty. And these migrated people, they are basically accommodated in slum and squatters in Dhaka city. And they are definitely poor, and most of them are work in informal sectors in Dhaka city, and they have some crisis in health, socioeconomic, and environment. And basically, they are embodied in slum, and everyone knows that in slum, environmental condition is also good. So, and because of their financial problems, they are consuming some low quality food, and they are becoming sick, and their children also become sick. So, my research objective is that to find out the statistics to clarify the urban poverty and children health condition on behalf of school feeding program funded by US Corporation Limited. And specific research objective is that to find out the reason of urban poverty in Dhaka city, and to find out the food consumption situation for their family, children in Dhaka city, and to verify the socio-economic condition for urban poor. So this is my research objective to discuss in here. And my research object methodology is that to conducted the field survey in slum area of Dhaka city to understand the real poverty based on physical, social, and economic conditions. And in addition, it was supervised the school feeding program in NGO schools in Dhaka. And specific methodology that to operate the interview with the stakeholder and some people, and to monitor the school feeding program and NGO schools, and to analyze the Genki program. I mean, the Genki is a Japanese word, so it means in healthy. So there's one project in Dhaka city. Their name is England Genki program. So Genki, that means is a healthy program. To analyze the Genki program's evaluation and data analysis, and to make the interview with the parents and parents who are benefited from this school feeding program. So what is the poverty? So in there are some issues that in World Bank is describing that in 2.5 million who have a 2.5 million, $2.5 per day, they are poor, poverty or poor. And there are another definition is that in urban poor is a person who cannot afford their basic need by their own income. For example, in food, plus house, and this is the five basic needs. And so the source of urban poverty is I described that in previously, and rural migration is the main source of urban poverty, in not only in Dhaka city but also in the developing countries. And this urban migration is that in Bangladesh now we don't hear them mostly in Malta. It's not popular now. In 4 or 5 years ago, they very popular in Malta. But they have some food crisis and job crisis in rural area, and social violence and natural hazard, revitalization, etc. So, okay. And this time in here, this is the Dhaka city corporation area, which is very small. So I think it will be difficult to understand that in this land found in the one slum clusters. So in Dhaka city, in Dhaka city corporation, it has 4,342 slum clusters in the black sports. And if you see here that in the Dhaka metropolitan area, there are 302 square kilometer land area, and Dhaka city corporation is 145 square kilometers. If you compare the population density on per slum, then in Dhaka city corporation area, more than 17,000 people, only for slum people are located in Dhaka city corporation area. And if you see the increasing of slum number, so it's very high, to expand in slum in Dhaka city. So this is the position of Dhaka city as poverty. And the root of urban route of migration, how they are coming back. So basically, they are coming I mentioned here, informal passenger. So because they don't have enough money to buy a ticket, and for the process, so they are running the bus or train, and they come back as a informal passengers, and they are, it's very high risk, and we hear many times that if there is any accident, then this kind of people are have the affected for their injury or death, even death, and this is the migration process in Dhaka city. The informal sector in Dhaka city. So there are two statistics. One is the informal settlement, and another one is informal job opportunities. Informal settlement is come and exporters, and informal job opportunities is street vendors, retail cooler, garbage factory, and maid servant. So if you see in there, this is Dhaka city. So informal employment in informal sectors in 65%, and the informal settlement is 32%, which is in the
Dr. Uttama, maybe you can go straight to the issues.
sorry.
Well, you can go straight to your
Okay.
paper. These are more or less peripheral information. So you go straight to your program.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will just
You can skip this, otherwise it will eat up your time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm going to here, and the food consumption condition in our report. Basically, in Bangladesh, we are eating oily and spicy food. Otherwise, we eat very sweet food. However, in Bangladesh, Japanese food, if you can see that this is the one box for the people. So they have a fish, meat, and vegetables and eggs. So they have a very balanced food. So I'm going to say food for school children in slum area. So you can see I'm mentioning in this kind of shop is mobile shop. So we can say Feriola or something like that. So this kind of food they're taking every day from their school time. Basically, when children are going to school, then they ask the parents to take some money, 5 or 10 taka. Then this money they are spending in this kind of food. Like I'm really surprised when I was in visited Islam, like Pangla. So this is one kind of like even when I see that if I eat or drink that one, maybe I will see very soon. But they are drinking every day. So in this money they're spending in this kind of shops, which is very unhygienic food, and it's very common to see. And I'm going to explain with the school feeding program. So in Dhaka city, there are big two school feeding programs. Number one is in WLP, which is one food program. This program is organized with local Bangladesh government. And another one is an Euclid Daycare program. This program is organized by England Corporation Limited. England Corporation Limited is a public limited company in Japan, and they are implementing a school feeding program. This name is Daycare program, and in some area, it's really it's their CSR fund project. And Daycare program implementation process is that when this is like JP that in Japan. They send the money to England Bangladesh office, and England Bangladesh office order biscuit in Navi store in Bangladesh. They produce the biscuit and they send it in NGO school and NGO office, and NGO office send the biscuit in NGO school, and from the NGO school the students are getting the biscuits from the school. So this is the picture for Rangers school who are getting the biscuits, and this is one packet biscuits in every day. So
You have 3 minutes left.
okay, I will finish with you. So they are getting this biscuits every day, and this is the data for the height and weight. So this one is yes, they are eating biscuits and they are control group. So if you see the change, so every age, this is the ages in 8, 9, and 10. they have some things in within 6 months. This is the data for this evaluation. I'm going to the conclusion of the presentation. And urban poverty, main source of urban poverty is urban migration, and the migration because of their job opportunities in rural area, so they are migrating in urban area. And based on socio-economic status, the citizens are eating unhealthy food from their local shop and the video or mobile shops, and they are becoming and is how are the implementation the school feeding program, even in WP or the Japanese one. Then they are getting two benefits. Number one is they are getting they can eat nutritional food. Number one, and another one is they can save the money because this 500 taka is very big money for them because if 20 days in a month in schools, then they have to spend 100 taka and per month, and then yearly is in 1,000 taka. So this is a big money for them also, and so this I am going to have a conclusion that the feeding program is very beneficial for them as a socio-economic status condition, as a health condition. So this is the two big benefit for them by the school feeding program. Thank you very much.
So the floor is open for any questions from.
Can you go back for some slides?
Which one?
No, go back. Back. A graph you showed regarding
Okay.
you said the sources in 2006
Yeah, yeah,
and the final data is 2016.
yeah. It's prediction. This is prediction.
Go ahead, please.
I have just one question. The biscuit will you provide the student.
Yes.
If we consider it in the market value,
Yeah.
what would be the market value of this biscuit packet? Because I have this question. At this moment, this is just implemented through an NGO and funded from Java.
Yeah.
But if the fund is off, I think most of the project is the carbon. So if our local people or local organization want to develop this type of initiative, and the local biscuit maker factory are already involved, then what would be the market price of this biscuit packet?
Okay. For this, our biscuit one is in 50 grams in a packet, and the production cost is 6.5 taka. But if it's going to the market, maybe it will be in 10 taka. However, in the WP product, they have 75 grams business in a packet. I'm not sure about the how is the production cost. But the Bangladesh government, they are very encouraging to implement the school feeding program. Maybe it will be expanded in gradually by WP. Actually, WP now they are just providing the technical support, but funds will come from Bangladesh. Thank you very much.
Another question.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I've seen most of the development intervention details actually. I have a couple of questions. First question is, it's okay, I guess. I can hear you, right?
I think he give the mic because of this recording.
Okay. So regarding the definition of urban poverty, you delineate kind of boundary between the urban poverty and rural poverty, right? So the bottom line that fixed by World Bank is basically the national one, not kind of rural or urban basis. So how do you contextualize the national poverty I didn't get kind of how your school feeding program directly contributing to the urban poverty reduction, because it is more of gaining the weight or gaining the height and addressing some of the core issues of health. But urban poverty is much more complex than only dealing with health. You have the kind of education, you have the livelihood opportunities, and most importantly, you have the tenureship of, the tenure security. So how you can kind of take the totality of the urban program considering the school feeding program? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your nice questions. So I'm going to the number one is the national poverty and urban poverty. So if you compare it in national poverty to urban poverty, definitely in urban area, they are in Dhaka city. There are 31% of people are living in urban slum area. And if you compare the national wide, then definitely in it depends on the area. There are some, for example, Mohashkali, there most of the people are there, they are poor. And if you the recently I visited in Kodokali, they are thinking that Dhaka is very near, because if they are riding the bus, then in the morning they come to Dhaka. But if you think about the Rangpur, they are thinking that the Dhaka is very far. So it depends on the area, which kind of poor people are traveling in Dhaka. So if a very convenient area, then these kind of people are there frequently coming Dhaka to get some job as a informal sector. So this is the number one, and number two is about the age group. This is 8, 9, and 10. This is the three age group. And if you say about the education level, the class 2, 3, 4. For example, in preschool, some students in our project, they are 10 years old, but they are in class 2 or in preschool. Because in urban areas, in the beginning. From the beginning, they don't come to school, some children, because they are working, and some children are coming in from the beginning. So it's very difficult to categorize the class. Which class they are in. But in the age group, we are separated in age group, because based on age group, they will be improved, or they will be in the weight or height. So this is the age group. And the number three for our.
Right, how you control
Okay, yes. So urban poverty is a very big issue. So if you think of the urban poverty is a whole blackboard, then this is a very small one. But how I can say that the poverty will be alleviated by this school feeding program? This is two issues. Number one is that they are getting them healthy food, and because of healthy food, they don't go to. They have to like, for example, in my project, there are many opinions from the parents and teachers that frequently some students are becoming sick, but by getting these biscuits, they don't go to buy the Venezuela shop, and then their sickness frequency becoming very less, and based on this project, they can save the 1,200 taka minimum per year. So these are the two issues. They can save the money, and they can get the nutritional food. So this is very important, and this is very effective for this urban poverty.
Right. My question is that even with saving the 1,200 taka, are you actually going above the poverty line, urban poverty line?
No.
So how can we say that?
Definitely no, but they can save some money.
Well,
But if you think at our urban poverty, maybe we have to take the millions of dollars for few families. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
I just want to take this last question.
Okay.
How do you relate urban poverty and school feeding program? When I saw your title, I thought that how urban poverty can be eliminated or reduced by school feeding program. Life actually doesn't go in a mathematical way. I mean, how much I eat, and that can contribute to the by poverty alleviation. Poverty is a big concept.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
so many things associated
Yes.
with poverty. So how one feeding program, how it can actually contribute to a big issue like urban poverty. What I thought definitely it contributes, but what I thought in this presentation that it will address to some extent, what extent it actually adds to the poverty alleviation, which I found that somehow it is missing, there is a missing link. But it was an informative presentation and very thought-provoking definitely. But somehow there is a missing link that somehow there is some question in there, which I'm really seeking to find the answer to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very very nice questions. Actually, I discussed that over but in by school feeding program, it is not only our project, even in for WP project. So this project will get some by this project, the poor people are getting some benefit as a financial, as a nutritional. Not only that, they have some seminar to award them how they can be healthy, they can be they can reduce their sickness, they can save their money. So this is the one process. I mean, the very very initial process to award them how they can be overcome their poverty. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, paper presenter. I have two suggestions.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Like looking at the pattern of questions and the way they are attacking you.
It's not accurate.
Thank you, sir.
No. This is a attack means physical.
Okay.
One is you should improve this paper because it's very difficult to read. Because maybe you can read, but you didn't think of the audience.
Okay, thank you very much.
And second is please change the title because although it is partially contributing to poverty alleviation, but we are not sure what percentage. So maybe I can give one suggestion. Maybe the impact of your feeding program is can go on improving the nutrition of poor something in Dhaka city. That would be and also the earlier part of your presentation is too much on migration and all this. Maybe this learned audience they know all this. So you should go direct to the issue, the program and its impact. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very
So
much.
we give we.
Continue.
So we want to end your presentation and question and answers and give opportunity to the third paper presenter.
So before that, I have just a small announcement
Okay.
of tea. So we're just running a bit late, probably. So what you can do, it starts from 10:30 to 11. So what you can do is just enjoy our tea. You can bring it here and enjoy it and look at the presentation. What I suggest.
Okay, this is a good
So
idea.
we can continue with the presentation, and in the meantime, if anybody wants to take tea, you can take and come back here.
Come back. So this is the third paper. Paper number 503 is here
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
for you. So are they managed to cope with poverty? The study of vulnerable areas in Bangladesh by Dr. Jafar Ahmad and Dr. Shah Muhammad Atikul Haq. Who is going to present? Hello? Who is going to present this paper? So Mr. Kandakar, so make your presentation. Try to maintain the time, 15 minutes.
আচ্ছা স্যার হচ্ছে সমস্যাটা হচ্ছে যখন ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে আমাদেরকে কোনো পিডিএফ দেওয়া হয়নি, তো ওনার পিডিএফটা আমরা পাচ্ছি না, খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না, তো কপি করা হচ্ছে।
Earlier, I have sent in PDF for it.
So you better we skip and go to the next presenter. It's okay. Is it going to take time? Then we can you can sort it and maybe we go to the next one, paper number 4, paper in the serial number 4, paper number 509. The role of non-farm activities on poverty alleviation in rural northwest Bangladesh. Lot of authors, Nur Saida, who is going to present this paper? Oh, this one absent. They're not here. So many people. Then we go to paper IT 508. Mainstreaming urban growth in the economic activities through microfinance. A case study of Bhairab municipality, Bangladesh. Muhammad Rashidul Hassan and Muhammad Oslauddin Hassan. PhD student, Department of URT, Jahangirnagar, and Associate Professor. Who is going to make this presentation?
Muhammad Rashidul Hassan.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Rashidul Hassan. I want to remind you, 15 minutes, like to keep the time, so we have we can discuss your paper. Must be very interesting. So please start the presentation.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I am Mohammad Rashidul Hassan. At this moment, I am doing my PhD program in Japan University. It was my our presentation. And the title of the presentation is Mainstreaming Urban Growth in the Economic Activity through Microfinance, a case study of Bhairab municipality, Bangladesh. In the introductory, at this moment, we have the experience of highest level of urbanization level in the world from 1961 to 1991. At this moment, we have the more than 7% urban population growth rate, and at this moment, we have more than 28.8 million people live in our urban area, concentrated in only 522 urban centers. But unfortunately, most of these people are migrated, and migrated people are they are the poor. Their livelihood pattern is under the below the poverty level. But the poverty elevation is the key motto in our government strategy of Bangladesh from the very beginning. And my paper will find out how microfinance do this poverty level or work with this poverty level to reduce in our level. But we know microfinance is for its proven role to reduce, but it cannot be the elevated. So it can be reduce the poverty level in our urban poverty sector. From the financial year 2004 and 5, Bangladesh government initiated a project to financing by the Asian Development Bank, which called it Urban Governance and Infrastructure Improvement Project in the 30 municipality area. This project had so many objectives. One of this component of this project was the microfinance for the urban poor. So our work involved on that objective of that project. My objective of the study is that we study the financial and social benefit to loan disbursement of the local government operated microfinance program in Bhairab municipality. And my second objective is to understand and compare the mechanism of local government and NGO operated microfinance program for urban poor in Bhairab Purushabha. My study framework, I have doing my study. I have sampling basis. My sample size was 210, and in 3 groups: loan recipient from the local government organization, loan recipient from the NGOs, and there are some people who take loan from these 2 organizations. So I have collected sample from this group, and I have collected my qualitative and quantitative research method also. And the primary data I have collected from the questionnaire survey and focus group discussion of the member. And then I have also collected from the secondary source from the project office, NGO office, and other sources. My study area is the Bhairab Poroshava. It is under the Bhairab Upazila of Kishoreganj district. It is the A1 category Poroshava. Its total population size is 93,225, and area of the municipality is 15.72 square kilometer, and total household of this municipality is 70,000, and the population density is per square kilometer is 5,932, and in this municipality we have find out 12 slum area, and we have worked in our this research work on that slum area. My findings and observations. We have found the changing the economic activity through 5 categories. We have find out, and in that category, what would be contribute the microfinance program in their livelihood pattern, and that was the changes in their employment, income enhancement, annual money contribution to the family, their savings, and access to extent for the major resources. And here we mentioned that the members of the microfinance recipient all are the female members. So, what was the previous job status? There we have categorized housewife, employed, self-employed, unemployed. There is the housewife means who are the married women, they are the housewife. But who are the unmarried member of the family, they are the unemployed members. And before the starting of the project, taking the microfinance, in 2006, the housewife was the 22.5%. They were the housewife only, and unemployed only 27%. Well employed only 29%, and self-employed 21.5%. But after the project in the 2010, we have found that there is no housewife. That means no housewife means they are not at this moment unemployed housewife. They are now converted to the married. That was okay, but they are well employed or self-employed, and there is no unemployed, unmarried woman. Or that means the member who was unemployed or just stay at their house and house working, they are now involved in the well employed and self-employed activities through this microcredit program. Then that was the total scenario of the member, our sample, and this is our categorized by changing pattern. In the local government offered microfinance program, 28.77% member was the housewife, but that was zero after the project employment. But that is the most finding issue. The well employed and self-employed as the increasing is remarkable. Self-employed that was the only 13%, but in the 2010 that goes to the 78%, and the age-appointed people already that was employed. And both people, those are the housewife, that is the 15% in the project time, and after the 2010 that was zero. And the self-employed, these are the experience, they have much experience in microcredit program, so they are the already 85% goes to the self-employed activities. Then we find out their income pattern. Before the involvement of this project, their yearly income less than 20,000 taka. That was the 36%. And but after the project, they go to the 2,000 to 20,000 to 30,000, or 30,000 to 40,000, 16% or 46%. And some people goes to the 50,000 to 60,000 after the project. That is the 14.5%. They goes the annual income. But the category one, where if we find out how much their income changed, we find out that those people who involved in local government microfinance program, in 5% people increase their income 1 to 5%, and the 5 to 10% is 21% people, and most of the people 15 to 20% increase. 36% local government offered microfinance member increase their income in 15 to 20%. But NGO operated program, the members, most of members increase their income 10 to 15%. And both members, there is the most of the almost half 55%, and both side members increase their income 10 to 15%. That means after involving this type of microcredit program, their income is rising. But this rising, there is a diversification of their own activities. Then we have to find out the monthly contribution to the family during pre and post period, project period. Because we think the women are just working in their own house, but they have no financial earning and they have no opportunity to financial contribute to their family member. But involving this microcredit program, we have find the contribution. At this moment, after the 2010, they have started to contribute the money to their family. And what would be that amount? The amount is in the 2006 that was 68%, 42%, 25%. But after the involvement project in the 2010, that goes to the 47, 58, and 61. That means they are now the sharing their home expenditure, and they are now contributing to their family members, and the resource mobilization. Then we have the find out the what are their weekly savings. Weekly savings in the member before the involvement project 2006 in 0 taka, 68%, 42%, 25%. But after involvement of this project, they are running their program, or their utilize the money which they taking from microcredit program. They now started to savings money. That is the 55%, 45%, 55, 10 to 20% taka. That 45% people saving in every week. Okay. Then we have the grouping the MFP method using FGT method. FGT method through we have categorized the extreme poor, moderate poor, good. That and at the initial level, this scale we found the 60% member of the project was the NGO operated program. They were the extreme poor. But after that, they will don't find the extreme poor level, and that is they goes to the moderate poor. At this moment, they are in the moderate poor. That means a microcredit program changing their lifestyle, their savings, their income, and that is we find out in the NGO operated program. And the both side, there is one finding, special finding is there. Local government organization emphasize the extreme poor women to contribute or involving in their project. But NGO are not encouraged, or NGO are not interested to take those people who are at the extreme low poor, because they try to mobilize those people who are in poor or moderate group because they are financial safety. Because most of them are urban poor, they are most of the migrated people. So NGOs want to ensure their money because their money has the taken from the other source. So they are not interested to involve with the extreme poor. But as a local government organization, municipality is a service providing agency, so they take this risk to involve with the extreme poor level. And we find the result that was the 60%, and after that result is 0. So that was the achievement of this project. And if with the priority index analysis, and that was the AHP method, that was the result of the pair-wise comparison, increased household income, increased employment. That was the 8 indicators, and that involvement we find this type of result. The way to for the factors influencing the member to involve in their microcredit program. Why they are involving this program of LGA? We find it 0.29 out of 1, increasing employment opportunity. They think if we involve.
You have 2 more minutes.
Okay, sir. Almost complete. Increasing employment opportunity, that is the main issue, and others issues. On that case, same analysis for the NGO operated microfinance program, and that would be the result. Almost NGO and local government authority member had almost same the increased employment opportunity and increased purchasing power. That means people want to work and they want to their purchasing capacity. That's why they involve in the NGO operated microfinance or the local government operated microfinance program. And if we try to find out this research is accepted or unaccepted, In that case, we have to find out the consistency checking. And consistency checking for the microfinance operated by the NGO operated, that is 8.7%, and that is consistent. And in the NGO operated program, that is also consistent, is 7.8%. And but if we compare these two, in that case, we find out the NGO operated microfinance is more consistent than the others. That means NGO operated microfinance programs. And what would be the reason for the performing a NGO operated microfinance program? Why a local government that the municipality is involving this? Because they have the no gain, no loss approach of this project. Because I have previously mentioned, this is the service oriented organization, so they need not to profit. They just follow the no gain, no loss approach. And then NGO has the cost of fund, so their rate of interest is high than NGO operated microfinance. And another is the NGO operated microfinance program repayment period start after 4 weeks. That means they get the chance to invest their money in 1 month. Then they will pay matter. But in NGO, they do not get this type of facility. What would be my recommendation? That is the one is formation. In NGO program, group formation involving to the councillor of the municipality. But in some cases, it is the political biasness. The councillor in some cases try to catch up those people who think they are a voter and try to avoid those people who are not their voter. So we suggest there should be a committee for selection or forming a group formation. And another is limitation of loan. We have seen that some people want to loan more and more, but municipality has a restriction for the highest level of 20,000, but it can be raised in 6%. And another is the investment made by the owners can be insured. In the NGO cases, NGO insures in which purpose you take the loan, interest in that purpose. And in the municipal cases, in some cases, it cannot be monitored properly. And that's why all of these activities will be maintained and monitored by only one person in the municipality, that is slum development officer. But he has no supporting staff. In that case, the slum development officer should be more trained up and to give him some supporting staff. And that is our finally, the role of the protection of local government bodies for local economy, upliftment through microfinance should be further positively considered. That is my final recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed for your presentation. So the floor is open for question, or you want to get your tea? You want to get your tea and come back? Oh, I see. Okay. So don't worry. The tea will lie to us or what to us. Okay.
When measuring the impact of the project, do you consider any control group? Control group. There is actually when changes happen in the society, two things can happen actually. One, the changes entirely happen by your project, and another is entirely happen by other reason, but you are getting the benefit. And another is in your project and other aspects added to that change actually. So if you take a control group and treatment group, same category of households or the units, you can make a comparison better actually. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay. There is no control group because we have the find out this random sampling. They in the code because code is very code from the local government also distributed fund more than 1,000 women. We have selected RAM from sampling the 80 of the women, and that is there is control no option because most of them are the housewife and unemployed. Because of the project period, their earning level is zero. They are working the home or the take caring their child. That was their only primary work. They have no option to involve other economic activities. After taking the loan, they started extra work in their family through this fund. And after the 2006 and 2010, when we find out whatever you're earning and whatever you're saving, we think or we believe that must be done through this project. There is no other factors involved on that way.
That is what my question is. Actually, there is different kind of varieties.
I just want to supplement you actually. This is quite important in measuring the impact of any kind of project actually, thinking the control group and different group. Because otherwise, there might be a change that is going to necessarily by the economic transition of Bangladesh. For example, right? There might be 45 housewives who is now unemployed are going to employed by the end of 2010 naturally by the economic activities. So it's really hard to get the kind of real impact that this microfinance project is actually carried out for this one. I'm not sure whether I'm clear or not, but it is very controversial issue for case of Bangladesh to measure the impact of microfinance because we don't have any control group that is without microfinance. That's one of the basic struggles we always find to measure the impact of microfinance nationally as well as locally. And I think that's one of the issues we need to kind of consider. I have just one question actually. I'm not sure what FGT method. Can you please kind of clarify a bit what it is? I just interested to know.
Yeah. This
FGT method regarding the extreme or something like that.
No. That is the focus group discussion. Focus group discussion. FGD, that was my data collection method. So, that is the FGD, focus group discussion. Focus group, we have the collected data from the...
No, can we just go back and forward? Right, this one.
Yeah.
FGT method. I mean, this is FGT.
FGD index.
Right.
FGD index that indicates the extreme poor, moderate poor, and good. This is the reference value.
Right. So, whose income is less than the poverty line and have a value of SPG in more than 0? So, what's the poverty line?
Okay. This is my secondary materials. This is my reference. What would be means the extreme poor. Through this reference, I take extreme poor whose earning is 1134 to 6199. That is level of the extreme poor. Yearly. Extreme poor.
And it is in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is the reference with 2000. Madam, this is the 2003 data. Because we have doing this program in the 2000 started in the 2006 in field level and data collection in the 2009 and 10. And at this moment we have already started by another research work. What would be the position in the 2016? This is extremely fun.
Quite a long time ago.
Yeah, now this data and this is the source 2010. On that moment we have done.
Also, this index is applicable for Bangladesh and say global one of the national one. I'm not sure of that.
I think the author is Bangladeshi, Ullah.
But the index that's actually cited in the author. But fostered the forward. That's a
3%.
Right, but
Forward is a
right.
I have collected details from my secondary source, and I take it as a reference point. But I have no study of total method. That on that moment maybe I cannot explain the detailed thing. This is my reference point, and maybe we can in our 2016 when we started this level, maybe it can be changed. Obviously, the level of the extreme poor it obviously changed, and maybe I consider your question on that moment.
Can I take one? But this kind of work, what we usually do, we have the profession, as you said, we have the profession of looking for our own categorization and then, or take a reference point on which basis we can just go to the field and collect the data. For example, own categorization in sense that extreme poor, poor, moderate, poor. We can classify the people on the basis of our own index. So if it is not available, I mean, say it's 2003 data, and after that there has been so many things happened, and the income status structure has all drastically changed. So this could be one option, and side by side, for this kind of good research, side by side we can have another option of our own index to see parallelly this kind of situation, poverty situation. So that gives a clearer picture. What's happening in the situation. Thank you.
I have just two. One is we have to take this video at Steam Code at the time of 2006. So 2006 is my baseline year. So on consider in 2006 what would be his position. And that case I have to take some standard on that time. Maybe if I take it the standard in 2010, that cannot be the extreme goal or not can be the moderate goal. So I have to take some reference on that moment. On that basis, this is 2003. Another question is for my personal, if I fix up some standard, that can be arranged more and more question. What would be your standard? So in safe side, I take some reference, that would be the safe for myself to arrange other questions.
Once you clarify the standard, make our own clarification, that means we're restricting one, restricting ourselves a little bit. That is my definition. You can always have my definition of out of extreme poverty, lower income group, upper income group. So on the basis of the current economic situation, it's not a bookish one, but it's my reference point. So I can always use that as a researcher, definitely. So I can always stick to that. It's an internationally acceptable thing. So not necessarily.
Okay, in I will
try. I think where is your 2006 data coming from? The 2006.
Oh, at the starting of this project, before starting the project office take selection these people. LDD through the municipality slum development officer, or they have the data of the group for whom they are selected for the project, and that they approve after they provide the loan.
So you interviewed those people who were listed in that?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
They have provided the loan to the 1200 women, and they, before providing the loan, they take every data from through a questionnaire, their social and economical status.
So,
and then they started.
So instead of going to this index, is it possible to use that 2006 data to identify extreme poor of these people? Then you can avoid this one. No need to go this perfect. If they took the income data at that time, so from there you can make this. So you can avoid this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
The other inquiry, not question, is you have used the AHP. So AHP means analytic hierarchy process. So it is an expert opinion. So who were those experts actually? Who they are? From where they got expert?
AHP method. We have. We just talk about the questionnaire member, which one is preference in respect of income, of housing income, that is. And then we put down myself or my surveyor the point. We just say them which one you prefer, is why you involve this project. In this 1 or 2, we have the survey and they have put it 1, 2 mark. And then we calculate it in our office.
That was not a kind of expert opinion.
That was not expert opinion. That was the experience from the respondent. Okay, fine. Why are you involved in this project? If we have said that this is the 8 point, so for which one is your the first point to involve this project? He said, I want to involve in one. Okay, this is your first choice. Okay, this is one.
It's not, it's I mean, beneficiary.
Beneficiary response. We have converted.
Part.
No. Then we converted it in a AHP format.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, another.
Okay.
Thanks for your nice presentation. It's very interesting topic actually. My question is that you have mentioned in your recommendation the exclusion inclusion error. I mean, the local government and NGOs are working combinedly for running the microcredit program to the poor or the extreme poor. So I'm very tense about the condition of Bangladesh, that the local political leaders are very much influencing the people, that they have the extreme poor, those who have the very good connection with the local political leaders. They are getting the microfinance which is provided by the local government. So you have mentioned in your paper that how, but I want to know that elaborately from you, that how could you solve these kinds of exclusion inclusion error in your study?
So, in my recommendation, in the group formation, I have mentioned the same. In this moment, the councillor of the concerned slum area, he picks up the group who will be take or who will get the chance to take the loan. That increases political biasness of that possibility. On that cases, we have recommended it can be formation through a committee. And the 2010 we have the revise of the Municipality Act, and on that act there is a specific committee for the town TLCC, town level coordination committee, and another is ward level coordination committee in the municipal ordinance. That means in every ward we have a committee of the ward level coordination committee, and that is chaired by the councillor, women councillor, and other members from the representative or from the or that ward. So when the selection process goes through that ward level committee, we think it could be more fair, and that reduce the chance of the biasness.
I think actually the paper is good, and I hope success of your doing PhD.
Yes.
But I have a little.
No, sir. This is not my PhD related paper. It was my
PhD.
No, sir.
Oh, that's why it's okay. Because I was going to comment on your.
It was my master's level thesis.
Oh, I see. Master's level is okay. Otherwise, this 200 sample is not very.
No, sir. I am doing another topic in on my PhD level.
Because you wrote this paper. Okay.
At this moment, I am a student.
Okay. So good luck to your PhD effort.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
We give an applause to you all. Huh? Thank you. Nice
Okay,
paper.
sir. Thank you.
For final paper 509, your problem solved. It's not 503. Early marriage to cope with poverty is currently on vulnerable areas in Bangladesh. So, Mr. Mandaka, you can make your presentation.
Good morning. Let me take this opportunity to felicitate all of you.
You need to finish within 10 minutes.
It's too little time. I think I may take 15 minutes.
15.
Yeah. I'll try to finish it.
Introductory remarks, you can just
Exactly. Let me take this opportunity to felicitate all of you at the prologue of my presentation. I'm grateful to Dr. Shah Mohammad Atikul for being a co-author of this study entitled Early Marriage to Cope with Poverty, a study on vulnerable areas in Bangladesh. I have also show my gratitude to chair of this session. And so without further ado, I'm going to start my research paper introducing the primary concepts I'm going to cover during this presentation. There are extreme weather events, vulnerable areas, vulnerability, early marriage, coping strategies, and sexual harassment. So let me take this opportunity to highlight the content of this study. That was the background. In here, I will introduce the factors or introduce the literature which is helpful, which was helpful to format this paper and to conduct this study. I used both quantitative and qualitative methodology. And finally, I will wrap up my presentation showing some conclusion, recommendation, and further research scope. So for the first slide, there is introduction and background of this research. According to the Climate Risk Index 2015, Bangladesh is in 6th position, including 238 extreme weather events. And existing literature also show that Bangladesh is one of the most flood-affected countries, and I think it may be 6th position around the globe for the flood-affected country. And existing literature also shows that natural calamities, limited natural resource, and population explosion, all these factors are contributed to the widespread poverty. And there is also found that there are existing nexus between vulnerability and poverty. Those people who are vulnerable, they are suffering from poverty, and these poor people are suffering from vulnerability. That's the nexus between vulnerability and poverty. And to conduct this study, I found that poor people are considered early marriage of daughters as a coping strategy. They think that if I get my daughters married early, it will be better for me to feed less person, to clothe, to educate. And it is also found that in flood affected area or in a tornado affected area, the vulnerable people may take shelter in the shelter camp, and that moment is not suitable for the young daughters. They may face sexual harassment. That's why I consider the last one, poor living environment, is related with sexual harassment. This is the section of methodology. To conduct this study, I selected two vulnerable areas. One is extremely flood affected area, is Sunamganj, and another is tornado affected area, Brown area. It faces tornado in 2013, and to collect data, I collected data from 120 respondent representative sample from 340 respondents, and I collected data from stratified random sampling. And to data collection technique was household survey interview, and data analysis technique was vector analysis, multiple linear regression, chi-square test, and parameter translation of qualitative information. So let's move to the results and discussion. This is the part where you can, let's have a look. This is the part I began that Sunamganj and Brahman area. This is the notion of poverty in vulnerable areas. I found that in Sunamganj, 38% is female headed. On the other hand, in Brahman area, it is 70% female headed household. Existing literature argued that female headed household suffering from more vulnerability than male headed household. That's why I consider the household headed. And it is also found that in Sunamganj, 71% are illiterate. That means they don't know how to read and write. They have no education. And in Brahmanbaria, 36% are illiterate. That shows that in Sunamganj, people are more illiterate than Brahmanbaria. On the other hand, in terms of income, we know that income is an important indicator for measuring the poverty. So that's why I consider, and I found that 95% are not more than 8,000 taka in Sunamganj. On the other hand, 37% are more than 8,000 in Brahmanbaria. That means only 5% can earn more than 8,000. On the other hand, in Brahmanbaria, 37% can earn more than 8,000. That means there is more acute poverty, vulnerability to poverty. On the other hand, in terms of loan, poor people are taking loan to cope with poverty. And I found that 24% in Sunamganj taking loan to support their livelihood. On the other hand, in Brahmpuria, 8% people take loan to support their back value. And in terms of taking meals, we also know that people are solvent to take enough food. But in Sunamganj, people are so much poor that they cannot take proper food. I found that more than half of the respondents take 2 meals per day, and only 14% take 1 meal. It's pathetic to us that one meal is really pathetic for them, and they cannot take their meal due to the poverty and due to the lack of income opportunities. On the other 90% people take 3 meals. We know that rural people are used to take 3 meals per day. On the other hand, in terms of land ownership, we know that having land ownership is the indicator of measuring poverty. That's why I considered it, and I found that 14% people have land ownership in Sunamganj, only 14%. On the other hand, 51% have land ownership in Brahmanpuria. That's make us clearance about this, that more people are vulnerable to poverty in Sunamganj than Brahmanpuria. And this is the case of early marriage in vulnerable areas. Black one is Sunamganj and the red one is Brahmanpuria. But in here I found that some girls are married within 14 years. And some girls are married within 15 to 17 years. And this is the fact of early marriage within 18 years. I considered early marriage within 18 years. And I found that totally 86.2% girls in Sunamganj were married within 18 years. Particularly, 35% girls are married in Sunamganj below 14, while 14% girls married within 14 years in Brahmanpuria. And 15 to 17 years, I found that already almost 52% girls are married in Sunamganj, while 48% girls are married in Brahmanpuria. That makes us clear to me that more younger daughters are married within 18 years in Sunamganj. Let's move to the next slide. This is the hypothesis testing result about poverty and age-at marriage. How age-at marriage is influenced by the household vulnerability to poverty, and I considered some variables: family size, income of households, savings, taking loan of household, land ownership. But the existing findings show that age at first marriage of girls is not dependent on the family size. I found that while family size is maybe more family size maybe large, but their age at first marriage is not. They are not married within 18 years. That's why I consider age at first marriage of girls is not dependent on income of household. Another factor in Brahmanpuria, I found that age of girls are not influenced by the income of household. I could not predict that where income is poor, girls will be married within 18 years. That I cannot predict that. On the other hand, in Sunamganj, it is found that where household's income is poor, girls are married at early. That means poor people are considering early marriage of daughter as a coping strategy. As they are poor, they think that it will be better for them to save some money with little income. And I also found that household's expenditure gets reduced after getting married their daughter. They think that if they get married our daughter, it will be better for us to save some money, to reduce our expenditure. And another factor is that having loan. In Sunamganj, it is found influential. That is found that age at first marriage is influenced by the having loan of household. I found that those households have more checking loan tendency. They are checking the early marriage is a coping strategy. They think that if I get married my daughter within 18 years, it will be helpful for me to cope with poverty. And it is also found that households could save some money after giving marriage of their daughter. And it is also found that in terms of land ownership, 71% and 22% girls from both Sunamganj and Brahmanpuria are found that they are married within 18 years. To the next slide, this is the sexual harassment age at first marriage. I found very few cases about sexual harassment in shelter camp or when they go to school, and that are influencing in their early marriage. And I found that in Brahmanpuria, they face sexual harassment when they go to school, but very few cases, only 12%. But 6% girls are married within 18 years. That I could not say that sexual harassment is an important indicator to influence the early marriage of daughters. On the other hand, in Sunamganj, it is found that 40% girls face sexual harassment in shelter camp or due to their poor living environment, and all of them are married within 18 years. That's why I may not predict, but I may not suggest that sexual harassment is a factor influencing the early marriage of daughters in flood affected areas. But I could not find any significant significant result for this hypothesis or for this objective is that first marriage is not influenced by the aged facing sexual harassment. To the next slide, this is the qualitative drivers. As I mentioned that I used both quantitative and qualitative methods. Qualitative drivers, I found that two indicators or two factors. That one is larger family size and another one is obtaining income transfer. Poor people think that I have a large family. If I get married my daughter within 18 years, it will be better for me to feed less person to club. That's why they think that larger family size. A proper translation is given. Family size has reduced. In Bengali, they may think that কিছুটা কমলো. On the other hand, another factor, obtaining income transfer. They may think that, poor people may think that if I get married my daughter, it will be better for me to save some money. It will be better for me to invest this money to the grandchildren. That's why they think that separate expenditure for daughters. That means they can explain to me, I'll report. And from the qualitative information, I can predict that daughters are considered burdensome to them, and this is also found in existing literature. To the next slide, this is the result of factor analysis. In here, I found two factors leading the early marriage of daughters, that are poverty and reputation of daughters. That means reputation of daughters, that means is similar to the sexual harassment. And I found that early marriage is a coping strategy to poverty. And there are two factors loaded on this. One factor is early marriage, giving marriage of daughters in rich household, and an instrument of protecting reputation of daughters. The two factors are loaded on these factors. Early marriage is a coping strategy to poverty. And another factor I found that early marriage due to extreme weather events. That means flood affected area and internet affected area. They may think that early marriage is a coping strategy, that they are living in a poor living environment, and that may influence their vulnerability to poverty, and they may think that it will be better for them if they get married their daughter, and that their shelter camp is not secured for them. That's why they may think that, and that's why I found another factor is loaded: poor living environment due to extreme weather events, and early marriage is a coping strategy to poverty. I'm going to the next slide. This is the factors affecting aged first marriage in vulnerable areas. This is the analysis of multiple linear regression. In here I found that in here I considered 4 predictive variables. That were years of schooling, savings, family size, and land ownership. And I found that aged first marriage of daughters are influenced by these 4 predictive variables. And this is I can conclude that 67% variation are explained by these 4 predictive variables. And particularly, I found that those girls who have more education, school education, that they are married later, not before 18 years. And I also found that if family size increase, age of first marriage will decrease. And negative relationship, that if family have more members, they may think that I will try to get my daughters married within 18 years or as early as possible. That's why I consider if family size increases, age of first marriage will decrease. It is not influencer. And another factor I found that households having land are economically secure, and they could not think that early marriage is a coping strategy to poverty, as they are secured economically. They may not consider it as a coping strategy. And finally, last one factor I found that those households have savings. They are also secured economically, and they might not prefer early marriage of daughters. And this is the finally results of multiple linear regression. And to the last, I am going to draw conclusion recommendation. In conclusion, I would like to say that in vulnerable areas, in flood affected areas and tornado affected areas, people are suffering from extreme poverty, and they are taking different strategies to cope with poverty and to cope with the crisis during extreme weather events. And they may take coping strategies such as taking loan, and they can spend their savings if they have, and they may get relief from government and NGOs intervention, and they may support from bridegroom. If they get married their daughter, they may support them. And another factor I found is seasonal food reserve. They are concerned about the food insecurity. They may think that in flood affected area, people may think that flood may wash my crops, and I may not be secured in food. That's why they are conscious about securing food, and they are using this food during these extreme weather events. And another factor I found that reduction of food expenses. I asked the people how could they cope with the poverty during extreme weather events. They asked me they may not be able to earn more money to expense to buy their food, and that's why they may be able to reduce their cost of food. And it is also found that early marriage is still present in Bangladesh. We all know that there are law of early marriage. People are conscious about law of early marriage. They have awareness about early marriage. But why did this existing in Bangladesh or in vulnerable areas? That's why in my presentation I could say that early marriage of daughters is a coping strategy to poor people. And so finally, this is the recommendation of my study, and the government or NGO should provide some working facilities to the vulnerable people. Especially, it is for the flood affected people, as they are not involved in any working opportunities. As their surroundings are covered by water, they did not get any opportunity to engage themselves in any working opportunities. And NGO intervention providing loan to flood affected areas, because this area is covered by water, and NGO workers is not willing to go there. That's why I am asking to, I am suggesting to the government or NGOs to take initiative steps to provide loan to the vulnerable people, and there need to be permanent shelter house in both areas, because we know that Bangladesh is one of the extreme weather events affected area and one of the most vulnerable areas. That's why I would like to suggest those areas are more vulnerable. Government should set up permanent shelter house. And finally, I'd like to draw some further research questions or research scope. If you are interested, you can take it as a note. And that how multifarious coping strategies is taken by poor people to cope with the poverty or to cope with the vulnerability from extreme weather events. As I found that early marriage is one of the coping strategy. Another factor may be as a coping strategy as found insignificant. Another factor in my last presenter mentioned about that role of social capital on exclusion and inclusion in poverty alleviation program. In my study area, I found that all of the poor people are not getting relief or any support from government. They think that I did not get anything support from the government or chairman, because I have no link with this person. That is the factors of social capital. That's why I am considering this for the research scope. If you are interested, you can take it consideration and you can contact the research. And finally, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, no doubt a very interesting paper. We have a lot of participants, a lot of questions, but we don't have time. So, or we don't have any more presenters. So maybe I allow a very limited question, one only.
Thanks for your splendid presentation. You have noticed in introduction that nexus between vulnerability and poverty. Yes. And you also mentioned in your slide that people of vulnerable areas suffer from poverty. Actually, this is not clear to me. Let me know what are the existing nexus between the vulnerability and poverty.
Thanks for this nice question. I can make it clear to you that there are distinctions between vulnerable poverty and this is studied by people in their study. And poor people are suffering from extreme weather events in vulnerable areas. Extreme weather events influences their livelihoods, and they may lose their household, they may lose their shelter, they may lose their crops, and finally it makes them vulnerable. And they are lacking of employment opportunities. By this way, they are vulnerable to poverty. And being a poor people, they are vulnerable to many facilities. Suppose poor people are not getting any opportunities to relief camp or relief opportunities. That's why that's make them vulnerable. That makes poor people vulnerable, and vulnerability leads them poverty. And finally, due to poor people, they are suffering from vulnerability. That's the existing nexus between vulnerability and poverty. Thanks.
Actually, in disaster literature, vulnerability is well defined.
Yeah.
They have the formula. That's why I don't know whether you know this.
Yes.
So, risk, vulnerability, they have a specified formula.
Exactly. Microphone.
Thanks for your nice presentation. Actually, I'm working on this early marriage.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So, you have mentioned here that Islam and Brahman,
Yeah.
86% are
Islam
before 18 years.
Yes.
So, there is a law that if you get married before 18, then you can send them to jail.
Exactly.
So, is there any organization or any NGOs is there that they are not taking this initiative?
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
because we are strongly actually protect this issue. And we are also the government, the Women Affairs Minister, she is also very much concerned about this. So because 16 and 18, we are fighting this issue. So why this 86% are going this, and still it is happening, huh? So,
I'd like to add something in here. I faced difficulties when I was in field. I asked them, some of them mentioned that they get their marriage, daughter marriage after 18. But I found some daughters were married within 18, and I experienced this during field research. I found that they are married within 18 years, but they are mentioning that they are getting married their daughter after 18. They are awareness about the law, but they are not willing to follow this law. And I think that's the reason of poverty. That's why they are not willing to follow these rules.
Just one thing. In your next slide, there is a daily comparison. Okay.
This is
Is it your findings or what is the source of this data? 80, 71% is illiterate, 95%. Is it your findings?
This is my findings. Findings of my research.
Can I have just just
Exactly.
clarification? Sorry, I'm not interrupting anyone, I guess. You said that you did it on the basis of quantitative and qualitative data. May I know what qualitative method you used? Because just simply based on quantitative analysis may be asked erroneous question. Though you did factor analysis and not the regression analysis.
Exactly.
What kind of qualitative technique you gathered?
Interview, in-depth interview.
In-depth interview.
Yes, and
So
suddenly
put it back because I didn't see whether they reflected in any findings or whether they met each other or not.
And finally, I considered the quotation of respondents, and I used it as a paraphrase translation and highlighted this in this paper. This is the method.
So was there any combination? Did you see the triangulation or something? Because you used both the techniques.
Yeah.
So was there any triangulation method which verified the findings through quantitative and qualitative analysis? What
Yes,
I saw
yes,
is
yes,
just
exactly.
only the results of factor analysis
Yes.
and multiple regression analysis.
Yes. I can triangulate it with my quantitative and qualitative information. In quantity, I found that family size is an important factor, and savings I found both. On the other hand, in qualitative information, I found two factors I mentioned in this. One is larger family size, and another is obtaining income just now and savings. That's why I can triangulate these findings.
Have you done that? That's what I'm using.
Yeah.
Actually, when you present factor analysis, you need to present the table. Also for regression, you need to present the table. Because not like because I mean the participants can look at result, the variables, they have the predictor variable, dependent variable, with RS value or good. So that I think is not clear in your paper. Otherwise, the paper is good and it's quite interesting and thought provoking. You might encourage others to do this type of research. So with this, we thank you very much and we give an applause for this. So I would like to thank both paper presenters and participants for your active cooperation and for smooth running of this session. Thank you very much and wish you good luck.
Now we can proceed upstairs for the next session. Probably our next session starts, I guess, 11:30.
Okay. This session is closed now. The next session will start on 11:30. Take care.